G'day viewers, welcome to another episode of Fishing Life. My name's Bill Hartshorn, and on today's show I'm fishing with a good mate of mine, Peter Howell. Peter Howell runs Forays Displays and Signs in Eltham. He's a bit of a guru when it comes to putting wraps on boats, stickers on cars and anything sign or graphic design. He's not a bad angler as well. I don't actually know what he's got in store for me this weekend. He said, grab your gear, come and see me. I'm going to take you on a bit of a fishing mission. So let's go inside and find Pete and see what we're going to get up to.
G'day, I'm Peter Howell. I'm a sign writer in Eltham. During the week I'm putting stickers on vehicles and boats and anything you can find, but on the weekend I love nothing more than getting out and having a fish.
Oh Pete, that looks awesome.
Oh, g'day mate. How
you going, buddy?
Good mate.
Just finished it?
Yep, this is the beast. She's all just about done, just doing the finishing touches now.
Doesn't that look grouse?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it.
Well mate, seeing all those fish makes me want to go fishing. I've got the brim gear in the car, so I'm ready. Where are we going?
The brim gear?
Yeah mate.
No, forget about that mate. We're not going to chase these fellas, mate. We're going for the big stuff. You're going to have to upsize your gear, I think.
The cod?
Yep.
Going to some Murray cod, so where are we going?
I've booked a weekend at Timberlake for us.
Oh yes!
And there's every chance you might catch a really decent cod.
Well, I'm excited now and I want to get going right away, so I'm glad you finished, because let's hit the road, eh?
No worries, let's go then.
Let's go get one.
I've chased fish all over Australia. I like all sorts of fishing. I couldn't really name a favourite, but I suppose if I had to, it'd be Murray cod fishing. It probably goes back to my roots as when I was a kid with my old man up the river catching cod. They still really give me a buzz when I go and catch them. Timberlake is a really unique Australian fishery. It's one of the best native fisheries in Australia. Timberlake got its name because it's actually a timber-lined valley. When they flooded it, all the trees remained there until the early 90s when there was a bushfire through, and the CFA apparently got a call saying a lake was on fire, and I thought that was a bit weird, but all the trees that were in the water were on fire. Probably 90% of them fell over and created habitat in the water for the cod, which they really love. There's still a few trees standing, but it sort of just makes it a unique environment for surface fishing. It's a really unique place.
Okay viewers, I am starting to get really excited because we're just about to head out on Timberlake and hopefully smash some of these big Murray cod. You've seen on the shows leading up to today, we've tackled some trout on small SX40s, and we've tackled brim on small vibes and those sort of things, even trout on the small dry flies. I think cod aren't as fussy as some of those fish, because Pete's just ripped out some of the lures that potentially you could use on cod. And there are some crazy inventions. Have a look at this one quickly. I'm loving this one. Look at the tail work on that. That's just fantastic. Something you'd get in a toy store. But Pete, mate, you got some lures here that are almost as big as me. But today, what are we mainly going to be focusing on for these Timberlake cod?
Mate, well, we've got some cold, windy conditions. I think we'll start deep with something like the spinner baits that get down in the water column, or the vibey sort of lures. So we'll work deep while the light's fairly bright, mid-afternoon. And as it starts to get darker, we'll start to head towards the surface presentations. These nice surface walking lures, your plastic frogs, buzz baits that buzz across the surface.
Look at that, the prop.
More traditional walkers as it gets really dark. Anything that just creates a disturbance on the water as it gets dark and gets the fish's attention. Might look a little bit crazy, but you'd be surprised what sort of hits we're going to get on something like that, Bill.
Mate, I'm scared to think of the size of fish that's going to nail that lure. That is absolutely huge. It looks like a mouse in snakeskin. That's fantastic. All right, well, you've seen what's potentially available to use for cod. I think we should start putting some of these lures into the water and hopefully nailing a nice big cod. What do you reckon?
My word.
The boat, Pete!
It's about time, Bill.
Oh, it is. He smashed it right at the boat. Scared me.
Geez, that looks all right, that fish.
I thought
Yeah, that's a nice fish.
Yeah, he's not bad, that one. Oh yeah, that's what I love about the big cod. We've been using a few spinner baits down deep, and I put a BTS minnow, which I'll show you in a minute. That initial hit is just unbelievable.
Yeah, that's what's so addictive about cod fishing. I mean, look at that fish. That's magnificent.
Yeah. Oh, Pete. Hopefully we can get a few more of these.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well done, William.
Thank
Nice
you,
fish.
Petey.
Very nice.
Yeah. So if you have a look at that spinnerbait, normally they don't have anything on them except for the skirt, but I've put that Eco Gear BTS minnow, which is fantastic Eco Gear placky because it's got a really heavy tail, really good for getting that propulsion through the water. He hones in on these, sees that, bang, right onto that hook, and I felt a tap, but the tap I felt like it was like a minnow, but he must have just followed it, hit it a few times and then smacked it. Yes!
That is a beautiful fish.
Look at that for a cod.
The markings on the fish here are just
It's
absolutely beautiful.
It's an amazing, amazing looking fish. You can just see how sitting in snags or next to weed, a little bait fish is not even going to see that sitting
I
there.
wouldn't want to be a bait fish in here, I can tell you that.
And they just engulf, they're probably sucking about 5 litres of water as they just boof.
Well, look at that mouth. Oh, have a look at the size of that.
Yeah, that's going to be able to swallow some serious sized fish. And are they cannibalistic here too? They'll eat the little ones?
Absolutely.
And the water hens?
Anything that's in the way if they're in a...
And if you bring small children down here, don't let them in the water because they might get eaten too. But how good is that? That is, I'm wrapped about that fish. That is such a beautiful fish. What do you reckon we let him go?
Absolutely, Bill.
All right.
That's what we came for.
No worries. Put him in. Just again, like we always say, oh look, he's got heaps of beans anyway, but normally just swim them and you can feel him wanting to kick. And there he goes. Yeah, man.
Fantastic. Good on you.
That was so much fun. I want to catch some more. Hopefully some will come up on the surface later on, eh?
Yeah.
He's on.
Well done, William.
Yeah. On that spinnerbait.
Obviously still holding deep in the...
Yeah, they're there, but just a
water
little
column.
pup. Hey!
Don't leave him there too long, a big one might come up and eat that.
I can probably pole him in the boat.
Pretty little fish though, all the same.
Nah, they're all good, aren't they? So he's just a nice little one. So yeah, you reckon that he's been bred in here?
I'd say so, because they haven't been stocked here for at least 5 years. I'd say he's only maybe 2 years old, that fish.
Well, hopefully if he gets through the next year, he might get eaten.
Quite possibly.
Because there's ones in here that would eat this for breakfast, lunch and dinner.
Indeed.
Well, we'll let him go. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, on that hollow body minnow.
There he comes.
You did get me in
That's
that
a
weed,
creature
didn't you?
from the deep.
Yeah, look at
Have a
this
look
one.
at that.
This one's a shaggy cod.
There's a fish in there somewhere, I think.
Yeah. He can't even fight because he's got a mouthful of weed. Yeah, there we go. Another nice one. Look at the
Murray cod with salad.
salad. And he's just engulfed the old,
Where is that plastic?
well, I think they're just so solid, aren't they?
They
I had
are.
a hit the first time, just tapped it, cast it in there again, and yeah, he smacked it. So another nice one. Let's get that hook out, Pete. And see.
Try.
Well, you might be able to just pop it. All right, let's put him back, mate. Let him swim again. They're pretty hardy, these fish. So Pete, tell me in that right, mate.
Indeedy.
And away he goes.
And apparently they eat bream style lures.
They do eat bream style lures. The frogly.
Oh, good fish too.
Trying to cane me.
Got you in the timber. What do they call it, Timberlake?
Yeah, what do they call it, Timberlake, on the surface frog.
Oh, nice fish, William.
He is a good fish. He hit it twice.
Where are you?
Oh, sorry, Pete.
You're right.
Yeah.
Nice work.
That is why we came here. That is awesome.
Nicely done.
These are the sort of ones that Timberlake is renowned for. Just like the rod there.
You got him?
Yeah, mate. Look at that.
Right in the corner of the jaw.
And you can see where it's been hooked up on that frog. So who knows, it might start to come on this afternoon. We may be able to persevere, and we've just noticed, haven't we, as the afternoon's gone on, we've got more and more surface takes, surface misses.
Yeah.
And this is the first one that's actually hooked up on the surface, and wasn't that awesome?
That was good.
All right, Pete, you can't get much better than that from Timberlake, eh?
That's what it's all about.
Mate, I reckon you get Mr. Froggy out, Kermity, and I'll let this pup go. Swim him a little bit. Yeah, he's going on, I reckon. And he is gone. Yeah, man.
Nicely done.
Awesome.
Well done.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Pete, he's on the surface. Oh, look at him. That was great, Pete. Yeah. And he's taking your eyes too, Pete. Another lovely little cod on the Kermy. The Berkeley batwing frog, fantastic surface lure.
These weedless frogs are really good because we've got a lot of weed in the lake this year. There's been a lot of rain over winter and it just seems to have promoted a lot of weed growth and it's made fishing really difficult. But these Berkeley frogs have just been fantastic. They just ride through the weeds, ride through the logs. You can cast them pretty much anywhere and the fish seem to be enjoying them.
And it's too much fun when those smash it off the surface like this one did, and those jungle hooks, the weedless jungle hooks, there's a good hookup rate on them.
Yeah, it's been really good.
Seem to work really, really well. Hopefully we'll get some more on surface.
Good idea.
Okay, and away he goes.
Beautiful.
Catching a big fish is a real highlight, but probably the thing that really I enjoy about fishing the most is sharing time with mates in unique environments. And Murray cod fishing can take you to all sorts of places, and they're generally out of the way, away from the general population. As similar to bream fishing, it's just great to get out at the end of the day, have a nice meal, a few laughs, a few beers, and just sit back and relax and talk about the day's events. After a few hours of solid fishing, we decided to retire back to camp for a while. Good mate and local fishing guru, Daniel Kent, decided to rock up, and he had a bit of a surprise for us in his Engel, a lovely local crayfish, and he proceeded to cook us up a fine dinner, along with Bill's famed calamari recipe that he was keen to try with us.
Today I'm here to talk about all things fridge and freezer. Gone are the days of hitting the servo and grabbing that one block of ice that's hopefully going to keep your snags and all your food cold for the whole weekend. It's a little bit more high tech than that. Luxury and convenience is here. To talk about some of the fantastic range of fridge freezers from Engel is Ahmed. Mate, I have got one of these things and it just changed my whole life. It just made things so much easier. In the back of the car, everything's cool, you can set the dial. Obviously I know that it keeps things cold and it freezes them, but can you go into a bit more detail about the range of Engel fridge freezers and just a bit more of the technology involved and why these are the benchmark in fridge freezer technology?
Absolutely, Bill. What we've got here is the 40 litre. 40 litre is our most popular size. We've got fridges that are smaller and larger. We'll go into those a bit later if you like. But 40 litre is quite simply the best fridge on the market, and how it works quite simply is latch open, food in there, and like you said, Bill, you've got to plug it in the back of the car and away it goes. So if you want to set it as a fridge, quite simply, just adjust the temperature control of the fridge setting, or if you want it to be colder after that hard day's fishing, you've got all your catch and you want to freeze it on your way home, you turn it up and run it as a freezer.
And it is amazing, isn't it? Like most people, you'd be looking at and think, oh, you'd need the 240 volt to be able to run this, but you plug it into the car. You can, you know, if you're up north and it's 40 degrees and you got your prized catch, you can basically set it into a deep freeze straight away, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely. These are rated to work at about 50 degrees below the outside temperature, and when you're talking about plugging them into the car, they're very, very efficient on power, so they draw equivalent to about the interior light of a vehicle. While you're driving, absolutely no problems at all.
Amazing.
And then when you stop, off a good battery system, you'll get 3 or 4 days quite simply by running them off your second battery. Yeah, well, these models here are either fridge or freezer, whereas the Combi allows you to do both at the same time. You can have one side as a freezer, so for those frozen catch, and the other side is keeping your drinks and other food at normal fridge temperature, and that's all done automatically off the one control.
So if you want to log on to www.engel.com.au, check out these range of fridge freezers, because I love them and I'm sure you will too.
Yep.
Yeah, good one. Pete just dropped down to the deeper lure. You need a net on that one, Petey?
Maybe. It's a decent fish, I think.
Good stuff.
He's not bad. Still having a bit of a go too, he is.
Nice fish.
Very good.
Yeah. That's what we wanted. Nice one, man. Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
It's a nice cod. Oh yeah,
He's
he
about
wants
good to go, I think. Turn over, buddy. There he goes.
Oh, yep. Oh, did you see it? Take that. Good fish.
Yeah, he's not bad. That was a serious splash. Look at the bubbles down there.
Yeah, he absolutely smashed. We were just talking about whether they'd still maybe come up. And he hit that pretty much off the top, didn't he? I'll just turn this boat. That's a serious fish.
Got no intention of stopping at the moment either.
Do you think we need the net, Pete?
Not for a little while, but I think we're going to need something. Might need a bit of luck with this fish.
You want to get down the front end again?
This is a serious fish, I think.
Here he comes. Yeah, no,
Not happy.
He's got some gear. And this could be the monster that we've been waiting for, mate. Ooh.
Some head shakes. It feels like
Yeah, I didn't like the sound of that. This is a good
I
one.
reckon he's in the weed too.
What's the leader?
Well, it's light for cod. It's only 15 pound, but it's brand new, so it should be all right.
This could be, I don't think this net's big enough, Pete. Where's he going?
He's going wherever he wants at the moment. I just cannot get him off the bottom.
Do they have stingrays in this lake, Pete?
This could be what we've been looking for.
Oh, it's just weed, Pete. Geez, that weed fought well.
That's probably half the drag pressure too. He was just about to the top then, and now he's changed his mind again. I'd normally never fish this light where I normally fish for cod, but
Do you want to turn?
no, that's all right.
You're right where you are.
Yep, I'm going to see him in a sec here. There's a bit of colour there. Look at that boil.
What about bogus? Bogus better?
Oh, have a look at that. It's a nice fish.
Oh, the Timberlake cod. Oh, this is going to be really difficult,
Head
Pete.
first, just get his head in, and then that's the way. Oh, magnificent.
Look at that!
Oh, yeah.
That is huge.
That is a nice fish.
That is a Murray cod. Man, that's horse material.
Where's my lure gone? There we go. I don't want to leave him out of the water for too long, but when a big fish wants to eat, he eats. And have a look in the mouth there. Can you see my little lure?
It is little. It's actually not a small lure. It looks like it's about that
He has
big in
engulfed
there.
that, but the big fish, when they want something,
Oh,
they
mate.
just smash it.
He's an absolute horse.
That's a serious
That
fish.
would be almost a metre long and up near 40 pound, I reckon.
Yep.
That
getting
is
up there.
huge. Look how big the muscle on its head is. It's just huge.
All right.
Well,
let's
you
get
can
the
put it
hooks
in the
out.
water and you have a look at this at home. Pete's about to get the arms jerked out of his shoulders.
There we go.
We're about to let it go.
Just let him swim for a wreck.
Give him swimming. Yeah, those fins are moving. I'm waiting for
Phil,
him.
can you just drive along with the electric for a minute?
Yep, just to get him moving.
Come on, big girl. Biting down on the boga now should be okay, so I'm going to give her a go and see how she goes. Come on, big girl.
Yeah!
How good was that?
Yeah, man! Awesome. That is Timberlake at its best. They don't come much bigger than that, do they?
No, that was pretty good.
And it was great that we could show you some on the surface, some on the spinner baits, and then the monster. There you go, Petey.
Mate.
I'll grab just a few of your lures. That just about does it, mate.
Yeah, not a bad little session, do you think?
It was a bit of fun. How awesome was that, guys? The last couple of days come down to Timberlake. We did everything that we wanted to do. We got fish on spinner baits, we got cod on the surface on those frogs, that's so exciting, that
It
stuff.
is.
And then to top it all off, Petey just comes home with a wet sail and smashes that metre-long cod in sort of the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I'm still shaking a little bit after that one.
That was the highlight for me, and on the lighter line and just out in the middle so we could see how much power these cod have got. So So that's the end of another Fishing Life episode, and until next time, you look after yourself. We've packed up, we're just about to go home. The wind's died off and we can hear a few more risers, so we'll say goodbye to the viewers at home, but we might just go sneak a few more casts before we leave. So until next time, you look after yourself. We'll see you soon, but we're going to go and have a fish, so I'll catch you later.
The team at Fishing Life use only the best quality products, including Eco-Gear lures, Japanese technology made for Australian conditions, Trojan deep cycle batteries, Engel fridge freezers and generators, Flow-Right live well systems, Daiwa rods and reels, Minn Kota electric motors and Humminbird high definition sounders and GPS units. To find out more about these quality products, log on to www.vicbrimclassics.com.au.